Hey there, folks. How you doing? This is your friend Vincent E. Brown, Black by Color Only. How you doing? Here we go again with the lunacy of our good old buddies, the leftist liberals. It is my sincerest belief that these loons think they have a monopoly on the intellect in the world. Here's a message that I have concocted for another that has been added to my Dimble-Wacky list, who goes by the name of Melissa Harris Perry. A message to Melissa Harris Perry. Dear Ms. Perry, I had the opportunity to view your message on the recent visit by Ron Paul to Howard University, and I have to say you are quite the character. Admittedly, I've never heard of you before a few weeks ago. Being that you are a host of MSNBC, I'm sure there are a lot of folks who have never heard of you, but you have made quite an impression on me in a short amount of time. You come across as quite assertive and you seem to be very sure of yourself, although that confidence comes with a very generous dash of arrogance. Also, you strike me as a fairly attractive lady, although you couldn't hold a candle to my wife. However, beauty, as they say, is only skin deep, my wife being the exception. Many of your constituents contained within the ranks of the left feel as if they hold a monopoly on Black history. Moreover, whenever someone offers a viewpoint that is different from your views of Black history, you throw out the oft-parroted talking point. We know our history and we don't need you to teach it to us. I've often noticed that this bullet is usually fired at those who disagree with the left's view of history. Before I go any further, let me state for the record that I am not a Rand Paul supporter. Furthermore, knowing how hostile a college environment is to those who don't hold the liberal point of view, I thought it was rather foolhardy of him to express his views before an audience who was mostly against him, no matter if you think, and I quote, the mission of a university is to give students an opportunity to hear dissenting viewpoints. Really? One thing I have come to learn about the vast majority of universities is that they are bastions of liberal thought, and dissenting viewpoints are usually met with derisive outbursts of boos, insults, and character assassinations. Maybe you should visit a college campus and encourage the students to respect those that don't think like them. Oh, that's right. Silly me. To respect a different viewpoint is a sacrilege and taboo to you and your liberal colleagues. My bad. Anyway, and this may come as a surprise to you, I believe that Rand Paul knew way more Black history than his audience did. Yes, you heard that right, and you can quote me on it. Maybe it's because you were once an associate professor of African American studies and your associations with others like you, or perhaps it's your hyperbolic confidence in your liberal leanings that would have you to make such a statement that Blacks know their history. Really? Perhaps the average Black person knows about the likes of historic figures such as the Reverend Richard Allen, Henry Garnett, Hiram Revels, Joseph Rainey, Jefferson Long, John Rock, or John Lynch. Maybe they know the name of the political party that was formed in opposition to slavery, or when the first Black Republican was elected to office and the first Black Democrat. How about the name and race of the first person to own a slave in America, or the name of the political party that founded the KKK and initiated the Jim Crow laws? Do they know about Margaret Sanger's Negro Project and her statement about Blacks and other minorities being human weeds who never should have been born? Maybe they know the name of the political party that nullified the civil rights laws of the 1800s after Woodrow Wilson was elected to office. Want me to ask more? Okay. What was the name of the first movie shown in the White House, and why is that significant? Which political party did Martin Luther King Jr., his father, and his grandfather's support in the South? Which political party stood against the revival of civil rights in the 1950s and 1960s? Who was the president that signed the bill declaring Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday to be a national holiday? Miss Perry, you yourself stated it was white Dixiecrats who left the party and found refuge among Republicans. Those who refused to support civil rights gains were clear that the best party for them in the modern era was the Republican Party. So tell me again, who knows their history? Newsflash, sweetheart. 93% of the aforementioned Dixiecrats left and returned to, no way, the Democrat Party. How's that for a history lesson? I will now pause so you can bang your extension riddled head against the nearest wall. When you are finished, continue listening. Here are a couple of statements from someone you seem to deem as some kind of a hero, Lyndon B. Johnson. And I quote, "These Negroes, they're getting pretty uppity these days, and that's a problem for us since they've got something now they never had before, the political pull to back up their uppityness. Now we've got to do something about this. We've got to give them a little something, just enough to quiet them down, not enough to make a difference." Unquote. Or how about this little jewel of a statement? And I quote again, Lyndon Baines Johnson, "I'll have them niggers voting Democratic for the next 200 years. Wow, what a hero. One more fact to rattle your mind. I wonder if many of the students who attend the aforementioned Howard University realize their beloved institution is named after a white Republican who served as a Union soldier in the Civil War and also served as Howard's president for a time. You can't argue with the facts. And keep in mind that history is the stain that can't be washed out of the fabric of time. So you can either choose to acknowledge or ignore it. Which side have you chosen, Miss Perry? I can go on and on, but you and your liberal lackeys will continue to dance around the truth like water droplets on a hot grease skillet. So, Miss Perry, maybe you should rethink that whole "we black folks know our history" thing. You may know a lot, that's true, but don't think that all black folks know as much as you do. Besides, you've already proven to this speaker that you don't know as much as you think you do. Also, as I have stated before, you and your fellow liberals will continue to ignore the facts because the notion of a white Republican actually standing for civil rights seems quite foreign and taboo to you. Finally, I would like to suggest that you get a new hairdresser, as I believe someone is tightening the braided extensions on your head a little too tight. I'm Benson E. Brown. I'm signing off. And until the next time, I'll see you on the rebound.